Welcome everyone to Chess with TV, episode 142. Today is June 4th, 2015, the moment of allergy season. I live in the west coast of the United States, and June is the month of despair for me. In my area, I'm allergic to air, which is why it's called an area. And so whenever I go outside, I sneeze, my eyes sting and cry. My eyes are crying. I'm happy, and my eyes are crying, and then I get sad because my eyes are crying. It's miserable. So I have one of these gas masks that's like... It's like an NY90 or a P100. It's whatever it is. A super complicated name with big discs on it. I mean, I look like a nuclear Holocaust victim or survivor, perhaps. But I go outside with that thing on, and then my neighbors just point and laugh, and I feel much better about myself. So this entire month, the month of June, I'm going to be suffering from allergies. Fortunately, I live in a house with walls and a ceiling, roof, and all that stuff, so the allergies can't get in my house very well. I'm very strict with the doorway. Sure, some of you are like this, but not all of you, and those who don't, totally don't get it. Because seriously, people who don't know what I'm talking about when I say I have grass pollen allergies, they think, oh, okay, let's make sure we walk on the sidewalk, because if you walk on the grass, you'll start sneezing, right? Am I right? No. This other guy was like, maybe you should change your yard around, like do like some rock landscaping, because I'm sure you're allergic to that grass. No, grass pollen allergies means you have to hold your breath if you ever go outside always, and it's not a lot of fun. Anyway, today is called Endgame practice. We're going to be doing some endgame practice today. Usually you can't start a chess position with an endgame, but today we're actually going to start chess positions with endgames, which is a lot of fun because it's not even possible. That's why it's fun. I'm going to do some clicking and typing over here. So here's what we're doing. Let's go to leechess.org and see what we've got. This is the board editor. If you go in Tools, you've got a board editor here, and I've created an ending. This is a rather boring endgame. It's a rook. How come black has all this stuff? It's a rook. There we go. Rook and a pawn against a bishop and knight. Let's do it this way. So it's pretty balanced. That's 6 points against 6 points, but it's also imbalanced because one side has a rook, the other doesn't. So normally you can't play a game like this, but since we're on the internet, we can continue with a friend. Now, fortunately for you guys, I am your friend. So let's do this. 3 minutes, 3 seconds, just plenty of time. 3, that's a lot. And then we just go, bam, random side. So we're going to take a random side because I'm not a cheater and put that in the chat. First to click it gets to play against the Wiz in a game of endgame chess. It's going to be so fun. And what we'll do now is demonstrate what endgame skill should not be, because my endgame skill is not that good. In fact, it's bad. But I'll improve it during this episode. Just watch. Okay, so somebody said, okay, so now I have to catch up on the chat. I was talking about the allergies, and I couldn't even read the chat because I was so excited. The handsomest chess streamer. Wow, Ornikar, I don't know what to think. You could say the brainiest, but I don't care about handsomest, so I don't even care about your compliment. Fact, he's not as handsome as Flugzio. I can't believe that. Turn sideways, funny guide. You should invest in a gas mask. I did that. Weren't you listening? Okay. How cool is that? I don't even know. So there wasn't much chat there. That's because almost no one is watching. But let's start some endgames. So we're playing against Matlock Rap God 1500. That'll be an interesting game. So the rule number 1 in the endgame is use your king. As long as there's no queen coming to checkmate you. If there's a lot of rooks, you might worry. But there'd have to be a lot of rooks, like 3 or 4 rooks, before you would not use your king. So it's time to use your king. King. Because a king actually, I'm going to say this several times starting now. The king is, look at that. He has a 1907 rating. Amazing. The king is as powerful as a bishop. Now, that does not mean you should trade your king for a bishop. In fact, I do not recommend trading your king, not recommending, for a bishop. But I do recommend considering your king to be as powerful as a bishop, which means if you're playing the endgame with your king h8 and just sitting there, that's like you're down a bishop, which is completely useless information because no one would do that. However, it's information, and I love information. What can I do now that my king is in the center? So I don't want his rook to come in. I could try to make a weakness. A weakness. That's what I'll do. Yeah, a weakness. Okay. So where will I put my knight? Maybe here, c5. My bishop can go this way and hit the c pawn. Obviously, he's just going to set up his pawns in this pawn chain. So I want to create a weakness. I want to actually attack a pawn over here. So let's do that. Let's start with this because the bishop is biting on something obnoxious here. Have you ever played Pawns Only? Asks Fate in the chat. Sorry, Fate. I almost said Pawns Only Pate, but your name's not Pate, so it's a good thing I stopped myself. Yes, I have played Pawns Only. Hopefully we get to do that today. We're doing an hour-long episode. Defender. Let's bring the knight around. hour-long episodes. We'll have a chance to play a couple of endgame positions against the viewers. Maybe we'll get to play one with just pawns. We'll see how it goes. I think this move would be nice. First of all, it traps the pawn on the same color as the bishop, which gives the bishop something to attack as opposed to something to defend. Bishops don't like to defend because they're not defenders. Neither are rooks, by the way. Pawns like to defend. The other thing is if he takes, then I've got a nice outpost for my knight. No pawns can chase it away. So now let's hit that with another piece. King over, knight up, and I've got two attackers on the c pawn. Seems reasonable. Of course, he plays g4, but he is putting his pawns on white. He's going to play g4, f4. With his pawns, I'm going to be forced back. This isn't that great, but let's see how it goes. I do not want his rook to enter the 7th rank, so I'm not actually going to go take this pawn unless there's, whoops, a good reason not. Stop, arrows. It's check, so I'm fine, but I have to think about that. I want to sacrifice a queen, according to the Truth ICC. I want to ask you the truth. Hey, the truth. Are you a GM, which stands for good manners? Because I want to know if you're good manners or not. If you're BM, then I am going to ban you with my fist. The Truth GM has made 2 false statements. I can't lie, and yes. What? Fide. This stands for Federation of International of. The D is of, and E is chess. E stands for chess if you speak French. So he's taking a really long time on this move. Really long, which is longer than I would expect. That's what she said. Jimmy11 says, never seen chess before. Not that it's super important, but what are his strengths? Okay, it's super important, Jimmy. My strengths are right here. Look at that muscle, and it's popping out thanks to my bony arm. If I were obese, like most Americans, then my muscle would just shrink away into my arm. You wouldn't even see it. And then my strengths would be obesity, which is most people's strengths. However, my strength is boniness. I hope you appreciate that, because you're not going to get that just anywhere. He wants to ask what my chest strengths are, but I don't really have any, so that's why we're talking about my muscular strengths, of which I have 2, which is why I've pluralized that. Dionysus09 says he's witty/funny. Hey, my strength is that I'm witty/funny. That could be a strength, I guess. I'll arm wrestle you in wittiness. Ready, go. If I take this with check, then I check him, and then I take this and I'm ahead a pawn, which means not down a pawn. Seems good. It'll be tied in pawns, but since I got a pawn, that's better. And then I take this. Okay, so I have an extra pawn, which now means it's even. So now I'll use my pieces to promote, this pawn like that. Okay, that's the plan. This is called a passed pawn because no pawns can get anywhere near it. Actually, the technical definition is there's no pawns on this file in front of it and no pawns on these adjacent files in front of it, which would be where pawns would be if they wished to capture it. So in other words, nothing can capture it ever that's a pawn. So now a couple of moves away. See, the reason the pawns are important is because pawns trade with pawns. They don't even care. They do it all day. Pawns, trading. It just happens, right? But a bishop trades for a pawn. You better pay attention, man. You don't want to trade bishops for pawns. So that's why a passed pawn is just looking at the pawns. Now, it's true his rook can stop my pawn. I don't even care. Reason? If he trades his rook for my pawn, I am pleased. I am happy man. So that's why you look for pawns. That trade is actually what is not mattering. If I push, am I okay? And if I push, he rook over. Oh no, I'm under attack. Knight up, check. Okay, that's pretty decent, actually. This knight is going to hit 2 things. So I think I'm about to promote. Chess was too strong. Look at those muscles. Yeah, I could lift you with 1 tooth, whatever your name is, because my teeth have muscles in them. Yeah. Good answer. Gave me a good idea. I'll keep watching. Great idea. Keep watching. I'm going to keep watching. If you stop watching, I'm still going to watch. That's the kind of person I am. I watch myself. Got to watch yourself, you know. So push one more time. And now promote. Ah, look at this. Bishop here. He can't take it, or bam, queen. So he's just like, well, I guess I'll ignore that bishop. Then bishop here. Bam. And his rook is like, do you read me? Queening square. And no, you don't. You cannot reach queening square. Knight f7, question mark? I don't know. Knight f7 was made into, oh, I missed a checkmate. So disappointing. Guess I'm going to have to queen my pawn instead. Good point. Knight f7 was a cool move. I can't even do it now. So disappointing. Okay, ready for this? Going to use that sequence. Psychotic says, my soul just shriveled up. Now I need a new soul. That's a little bit of an exaggeration, I hope. If it's not, then I have no comment. Yeah, knight f7 was easy. I saw it. I didn't. Okay, so he must be a better player than I am. But did you see this bishop maneuver? Did you see that? Because I saw it. And he resigns. Let's go back to knight of 7. Peck, 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 peck. Look at this. Look at this. Instead of... Wait. Look at this. Look at this. Okay, I'm going to promote my pawn. No, I'm going to click the analysis button so I can actually move these pieces around. Okay, am I going to promote my pawn? No, I'm going to checkmate him in 2 moves into helpmate. F4, knight f7, check. He has nowhere to go. Help, I'm blocked by these pawns and those pawns and king. Bam, checkmate. That would have been so cool, right? What endgame checkmate. It's too bad. It's too bad that I didn't do that to him. So I'd like to play this endgame again because that was fun and I want to take the other pieces, the white pieces. So let's see how it goes. Back again, forward, forward, back. Guitar, quit a fish out of water. I got a challenge. I hope this is an endgame. It's not an endgame? You are so lame. Abort you. So I want to get that endgame position back. How do I do that? A rematch offer is sent. But I'm playing the same guy again. I wanted to give a challenge to the peeps. Guess I'll play this guy again. Okay. Okay, guy. Let's play where I'm white. So what we're going to demonstrate here, I'm moving my rook so that no, I'm not. I'm moving my pawn. So that I can get my king out. Use your king. Use your head. So the reason I'm playing again is so that I can win as white. Because if I win as black and I win as white, I have demonstrated that I am the superior player. That's really the whole point of going online. Guys, do you know why you turn on your computer in the morning? It's so you can demonstrate that you're superior. Oops. Like, for example, right here. Check. And then, bam, forking 2 pawns. He didn't do that, though, so let's not worry about it. So rook activity is important when you have a rook. I didn't have a rook last game, so I didn't even talk about it. But what's going on in chat now? Someone wants to be a moderator? Or is it a modulator? Yeah, well, after this, we'll play a new position. No, we'll find a new... How do I play? Okay, guys, challenge me from this position, and I'll play one more against someone who isn't Matlock Rap God, who's a little dangerous sounding. So rook activity means rook here. See this? Now my rook's doing something, man. So I can attack things. Yo, I can attack this bishop. I can attack this pawn. It doesn't do much yet, but it's out there. So let's see what happens. The other advantage I have is this pawn doesn't have an opposing pawn straight across from it. It has a bunch of air. I don't care about the knight. Seriously, knights don't trade for pawns. We covered that. So this is extra pawn. 2 pawns against 1. So I'm going to use that. Ooh, never mind. I'm going to skewer this bishop and pawn, take that pawn for free. Never mind about what I was saying, which was, oh, he's guarded it. So if king over, then knight f4 check, and then knight takes g2. No, that's not right. And if I, oh, but what if I king up? He's got discovered check, but then I just take the bishop. So he moves the bishop, and then I'm scared, so let's not do that. He needs to move the bishop. Oh, he moves it with check. How obnoxious. Okay. Well, that didn't work at all. But what I was saying was, I'm going to promote these 2 pawns into a passed pawn. That's the promotion. Because when they trade for this one, it'll be a 1-for-1 trade. 2 minus 1 is 1. I'll have 1 passed pawn. That's the plan. Could have tricked ChessWiz into a fork. Nope, not even close. So I'm planning to play g3 to cover that f4 square, because that's a useful square for him. So let's just not allow it. In real life and in chess, never walk into a fork, according to Jinlun 11. That's great advice. Are you actually 11 years old? Or were you born in 2011? Neither one of those would be compliments. Unless the year is 2035, which will happen. So maybe you could just assume that it has already happened, and then you won't get insulted. I mentioned last episode that you should not get insulted by anyone on the internet. And speaking of which, speaking of internet, did you know you can watch previous episodes of YouTube on the internet? It's on YouTube. Previous episodes of ChessWiz TV. Did I say YouTube? That's what I meant. YouTube, ChessWiz TV. You can do it. Just browse to the link up there above my face, chesswiz.tv, and then there, bam, there's ChessWiz saying that he doesn't whiz in public, and then you click YouTube archive. You can do it. I think Zagat could win this, according to chat. Well, I think I could win this, actually, because these 2 pawns, they're certain to turn into 0 pawns pretty soon here. Let's start with this one. How obnoxious. I'd rather pawn fork you than play chess. I could play b3. He takes my pawn, then I get this pawn, right? Right? No advantage from that. Might as well just leave this the way it is. Might as well... I could check him and lose my rook. Let's attack this pawn here. Maybe he'll just king over. And then I can check him, which is a moral victory. If you ever check your opponent, you can just say check really loud. It doesn't work on the internet, but... He moves the bishop away, took rook takes b6. There was a fork. You're right, there was. Good thing I didn't walk into it. And now, check! He's watching the stream, so it works. I'll go here. Now we're not repeating. I'm going to win on time. He only gets 3 seconds out of every move. That's not very many seconds. b3. Come on, try knight back. See if you get forked. I might not fork you. Try it. Fenbot. That's cool. Fenbot is from the land of Fenland. There's only bots there in that land. Now. Dink. You cannot capture my pawns. Oh, now dink. This isn't working too well, actually. Capture this way, because I'm not really getting any edge here. Now, it was 3 pawns against 3 pawns, so I wouldn't get an edge. Bishop e8, trapping the rook. That's an interesting thought. Oh, I think that's not the best move. Now I've got some targets. Now I can attack here, he can attack here, but it's really hard for him to attack my square. So I think I've got the advantage now in that little area. Well, what to do now? I'd like to get my king in the game, but his king is blocking my king. I guess I'll go this way. Trying to get my king to do something. Okay, I've got check now. Is this good? Yeah. Promote my pawn into a passed pawn. Let's do it. Okay. Yeah. Pin the knight, maybe. If it's pinned, it can't fork me and win my pawn. Yeah, let's just pin it. This isn't working very well. I mean, I got a passed pawn, but it's totally blocked. All I can do now is win on time, which will happen. I guess the rook's disadvantaged. That's my conclusion. Oh. The rook is at a disadvantage. It only has a rook. I have an advantage on clock. So rook here could work. Now it can't. Ooh, but what about check? Then he has force back. What's he doing? What? Attack that, I guess? Oh, you're so klug. That's German, guys. I speak German. I can say Die Königin, which means the queen, and I can say klug, which means clever, and I can say ja. So that's pretty much everything you need to be able to say in German, except where's the bathroom? But I'm never going to Germany, so that will save me that trouble. We're repeating moves, as you can see, which is obnoxious. Let's pin the knight again. Oh, he wants an attack. Aggressive player. Let's attack the knight. Aggressive king, let's go. Let's go. Something's going to happen. I'm only doing this because he has 10 seconds, so he doesn't have time to think it through. And now... Nothing happens. Nothing happens. I want to get my rook here, so I can't do that. Can't do it. This'll work. 4 moves from checking you. Wash out, man. Oh, that's not such a good idea. There, I got something to happen. Finally. Am I losing, though? It would be so disappointing if after all this work I just lost. Wouldn't it? Eight seconds. I need you to run out of time, Matlock Rap God, because all I'm doing is losing. It's not any fun. You're winning now. You're ahead a pawn. And I had 2 pieces for a rook. It's too much. I'll go back over here. This is bad ending. I could have sacked on c4. That's why I was running my time from 13 seconds to 3. Because I was thinking about the sack on c4. Hey, look. A new button. I'm running out of internet connection. Dropped frames, 228. That was stupid. That was a stupid ending. Knight attacking king and rook. This always ends this way. Always ends. GG. Okay, good game. So I'm a little interested, I guess, in if I rook sack, but I decided I couldn't do it. Let's just play a few moves and see how it goes. So take, 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 poof. You're right, and so he's trading his knight for my pawn. And then I have nothing but this. Yeah, I could sacrifice my rook. And if he promotes to a bishop, I'm okay. So that could work. So I've got a challenge from 4 people. SRXA, Zug Addict, Get a Fish Out of Get Gay, I'm gonna command Hard in Paint. Hard in Paint. It doesn't make no sense. I'm gonna go with Zug Addict because he's a never mind. He's a never mind, and he's playing the position we just played, and he just gave me the rook, which is horrible. So let's abort and rematch so that he gets the rook, because he's a national master after all. That means he should get the rook, don't you think, guys? Clearly the rook loses every game, so we're going to give him the rook. GLHF, which stands for good luck, HIF. Let's see how it goes. After this game, we're going to play a new endgame position, because we can't play rook and pawn against 2 pieces all day, right? Right. Actually, we can, but we're not going to. Okay, NM Zug Addict. If you don't move, you can't beat you. I can't beat you. Okay, so here goes the rook. Watch out. It's rook d8 coming. How do we do? And then it's rook. Oh, let's just bring the king in. Use the king. Not worried about that rook at all. Not even half worried. Okay, Zug Addict. Show me how it's done. Of course, my plan is to try to get a draw and then lose, because in an endgame, you should not try for a draw unless you'd like to lose, which doesn't happen often that you would do such a thing. Try for a draw while wanting to lose, which means you just shouldn't. You know what I mean? You just shouldn't. I shouldn't try for a draw by defending everything with king e7, you know, keeping the rook from coming in. Maybe I should, because the rook coming in is annoying. But playing for a draw, by the way, is a good way to lose. If you're in a tournament and you need a draw to win, if you know what I mean, don't try for the draw. You're better off just not. You're better off trying to win. It's a psychological thing, where if you're thinking about draws, then you're losing. Just, that's what happens. We already know the bishop and knight wins. Not a simple endgame. Computer could play this pretty well, but I'm not a computer. I'm bad at endgames. I always win in the opening, says Zug Addict fan. I'm not sure if you're complaining or bragging. Not sure if serious or trolling. Not sure if annoying internet meme or clueless chess whiz. Not sure if not sure. That's the worst. like not sure recursion, where first you're not sure and then you're not sure if you're not sure, and then whoa, maybe I am sure that I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. And then you can actually get into this loop where you cannot go to sleep because you're always not sure. It happens. Trust me. It's very bad. It's very bad. You have to hit Control Alt Delete, close your eyes, blink 3 times just to get out of the loop. If you don't do that, you might starve to death. Okay. I have protected my weak pawns pretty well. I mean, he could attack this one, and I could move it. And then he could just like resign because his rook is useless. That's what I'm hoping for. That would be a good way to demonstrate this ending. So are you thinking of resigning? I should ask him. I see a good move. It's so 0-0 is castling. 0-0-0 is castling queenside. But 0-1, that is not castling with one eye closed. It is black wins, and that's a pretty good move. We'll see. Zygotic fan asks me if I know what the word recursion means. Amazed face. I assume that's what this face is. It could be like mouse face, but I think it's amazed face. Yes, Zygotic fan. In fact, after this episode, which is an hour long, it's ending in 30 minutes, then we're going to broadcast the Chess Whiz Arcade, which is Chess Whiz programming. And so recursion is a programming term, which is why I have told you that. But I'm going to be programming an arcade game, doing some server-side logic, chess-themed, of course. So if you like programming or just love being bored, you should stick around after the show. And if you're watching on YouTube right now, where have you been? You should be watching the live show at twitch.tv/chesswiz Tuesday and Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific, which is 2 p.m. Eastern, which is 6 p.m. GMT, which is confusing. And you can also find the Chess Whiz Arcade on the YouTube channel. I will wonder what to do. Maybe here. Or maybe here. Which spot? Should I be offensive or offensive? Hey, look, if I take this pawn and he takes back, then I can fork him and attack 2 things that aren't guarded. That seems powerful. Or maybe I should just attack the rook. Which language do I use? In this game, I'm using JavaScript for the client side. It's a JavaScript game. But this episode, super exciting and fancy, we're going to be doing the server side, which is in C#. We're going to do it in a .NET game. So far, all of the game logic has been in the client side. So you open up your browser and bam, you're playing. But I'm re-architecting it today so that the game logic runs on the server. It's called authoritative server architecture. Which means that the server says what's happening, not you. And I'm looking forward to that. So excited for that. In fact, I'm thinking about that, which is why I'm losing in this chess game, which isn't even a game. It's just an end game, not a game. So check, king over, bishop up, hitting rook and pawn. Wow. I found out that all by myself. Or just bishop up first, hitting pawn and discovery check. Crushing. Start with the check. C#, yay. Yeah, it's the first episode in C#. This will be episode 5. First 4 episodes were all JavaScript heavy because it's just a canvas element in HTML. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's fine. You don't have to be a highly paid programmer. You can be a landscaper, which is not as good because you have to be outside all day in the sun getting sunburned, working really hard, and programmers just sit at a desk and get cancer. It's much better. So if you are a landscaper, I'm sorry. Actually, I'm happy for you because someone needs to do the landscaping. If there were only programmers, then the land would be nasty. All these weeds and stuff. Yeah, I'm really glad there's landscapers. So I appreciate that. So you check me and I move, right? And then you check me over here and then I move like this. And then we're like, I guess it's a draw. Which would be interesting because I'd be drawing with a national master who has a sense of humor. Not every national master does, but Zygotic definitely does. So. Block with bishop's stupid idea. Because why would I want to pin myself when I could be pinning others? So he could check and then king up here. That's a possibility. Let's see if he does it. Yeah, he's demonstrating that the rook is inferior by going for a draw with his rook. Zug not taking the draw. Looks drawish to me. Claim draw. Oh, offer draw. I thought that was claim draw. I don't want to draw. Offer a draw. I do not want to offer a draw. Cancel. Yes, just in time. I want to claim a draw. Check. No, lose my bishop. Bishop back. Saves the bishop. Don't move the knight, lose the bishop. Bad. Yeah. Are you better at chess or programming? It depends on which video you're watching. On the programming, oh, Zugadic, you're out of time. GG. Good game. On the programming videos, I get comments underneath that says, no offense. Actually, it says, offensive to you, but you're way better at chess than this. And then if you're watching the chess videos, then underneath the comments say, you know, you should go back to programming. So it just depends what you're doing. I moved. I swear I moved. Thanks, lag. Fix lag. So I think... if we do a little analysis and play some more moves here, I think he moves his rook, and then I move my knight and take his rook. So it's clearly a win for black, pretty clearly. So I have some more challenges, but these guys don't know the next position we're going to play, which is this one, rooks and pawns. Now this is definitely drawish, definitely drawish, draw-ish. It's definitely a draw for sure, because go. I'll take a random side. This side's not so unbalanced. Because every rook endgame is drawn. Every rook endgame is a draw. If there's rooks, it's a draw. Now, if the material's not balanced, like, you know, one side has a bunch of pawns and the other side is guardy bro, then it's still a draw because rooks make it a draw. So by the way, if you're playing a chess game and you want to draw, don't trade rooks because rook endgames are drawn. Now, however, you can blunder even in rook endgames. So that's what we're going to hope for, is that he blunders. Oh, castling. That's a blunder, actually. Because didn't I say use your king? I didn't say king hike to the corner. That's not what I said. Let's take some space here. Oh, you're closed up. Oh, no. I have more space. I probably shouldn't have moved there. I probably should have brought my rooks in, but I like having the extra space. Look at this. This is now imbalanced because it's 3 pawns against 2 on the king side, whereas it's a million against a million minus 1 on the queen side. In other words, we have different advantages depending on which side of the board you're on. Good for me because my advantage is, whoa, well advanced. It's like, let me draw it in red. Wow, it's way up here. Whereas his advantage, yeah, it's kind of not doing anything. So that's good for me. I feel like I'm winning already, which is pretty amazing considering it's a rook endgame. But it's a rook endgame, so what do you expect? Let's get these pawns rolling. Eventually, I'm going to get one single protected passed pawn up here, just one, maybe not protected. And at that point, we're going to say, what do we do next? Because it's really not going to be clear. Zug, okay, so Lax Gaming says, chess with Zug had a forced win in that position that you missed. Don't you think Zug missed it? Really, it's not my job to beat myself. I would say that Zug missed his forced win. Really, double click all the words. It's the way to read. I really thought I moved in time. I really thought you did too. This is fun. I will see you guys in a bit. Okay, rocks. O/K rocks. I'll see you in a bit. This is fun. So let's bring these rooks in. Now, take, and my rook penetrates just in time, because he's starting to do some nasties over here. So should I take the 7th rank? By the way, rooks should always go in the 7th rank. Or should I go, this is really weird, go Moku 5 in a row, you win. Or should I go on the 6th rank where I'm attacking a pawn? Sixth rank. Because then I take this pawn, then this is a passed pawn with a rook behind it. By the way, passed pawns should have rooks behind them. If they don't, get your rooks, put them behind them. It's very, very simple. Because as it promotes, the rook is right there saying, I got you, man. I got your back. You're good. Rook to the side, lame. And if you don't believe me, ask Blitzstream, because he will tell you the same thing. Rooks to the side are lame, because the pawn wants to move. I'm sorry. I don't have your back. I'm leaving you all alone. See, I was just guarding empty space like I'm demonstrating. Rook. Okay, this is a chessboard right here, and the rook's not guarding the pawn because it moved forward. I'm sure you can imagine that. Rook here, how does he defend that? Ooh. He doesn't. Ooh. But of course, I should just go over here and take this guy. He does defend it. In fact, if I do anything, if I go here, he also. Maybe. I'm actually thinking trading a pair of rooks is good. Because then the other rook is better for me. See? See, his rook guarding his own pawn, not a passed pawn. Notice the difference between pawns and passed pawns. This pawn cannot promote, whereas mine cannot promote. But mine also, yeah. What I'm trying to say is his rook's not behind a passed pawn. So that's good for me because it's not him. Not him, and that's my big advantage right now. Check, because I like checking. That's why chess is so good. It has checking right in it. When I play Go, I'm like, how do you even check? So I don't like Go. Yeah, guard that now. Try it. Try guarding that pawn. It's fun. Oh, you can't? It's pretty too bad that he's trying to guard this pawn and his name's Guardy Bro and he can't guard it, bro. Pretty too bad. Maybe you should change your name to a Can't Guardy Bro. Because that's a lot of free pawns for me now. I think I can win this always draw rook ending. I could have taken that one, but I didn't, so complain louder. Now, which one should I push? This is like Rebecca Black on steroids. I think I want to promote here. I actually think Rebecca Black would really improve her looks if she got on steroids, by the way. I'm not going to go further into detail on that. I'm pushing this one because it's only 3 moves away from promotion, whereas this one is an enormously increased number, 4 moves away. And the purpose of being quick is so that he doesn't stab me. Now here, he can't take these guys. He's maneuvering this way. Obviously, he wants to get behind the passed pawn. Enemy rook should also go behind passed pawns. But in order to get behind, he's given up his attack on these pawns. So I basically win. He's a trap. He is a trap right now. Rook e1 check, king moves. Oh, free rook. Ow. But I've noticed it, so. Traps don't work if your opponent notices them. Try traps I don't notice. It'll work way better. Don't even mind. Keep checking. I could go this way if I have to. E2, king e2. I don't think DB Razor. So he was saying maybe after this, then my king down and then he can't get over there, but then he could check me and I go up, and then what? And then it repeats. So this is simpler. I mean, I'm ahead, so why be silly? I think these moves look good to me. Guardy Bro is guarding it. But by the way, that's the only way you can really beat Zagatic. You either have to be smart or run him out of time. So clearly option 2 was my choice. If he pushes his pawn, there's a nice skewer here. A skewer is where the more powerful piece is sitting there wishing it weren't, and the less powerful piece is going to get omnommed as soon as the more powerful piece moves, because it has to move because it's more powerful. You got that? The king, that's the more valuable. Did I say powerful? The more valuable piece. The king has to move. Meanwhile, in Soviet Russia, the pawn behind is a pawn, less valuable, but it gets captured. I'm glad you followed that. That's a skewer in essence. You can skewer anything. You could skewer 2 rooks, which is kind of contradictory to what I just told you. But you could skewer 2 rooks. The piece in front has to move, then the piece in back, you get that one. So only rooks, bishops, and queens can skewer. There's my skewer. Of course, I could take a rook for free, but why would I do that when I could skewer? So I'm skewering. Which is bam, king moves, I get the pawn behind. Now it's still called a skewer if the pieces are of equal, okay, I'll take the rook first, are of equal value. So if you've got a rook here and then another rook, that's called a skewer. Now you wouldn't think you could skewer 2 rooks, right? But you can. As soon as I checkmate this guy, I'll show you. Check. Maybe he'll get stalemated. ChessWiz is not that smart. It might happen. Check. Check. Checkmate. Checkmate. GG. Good game. Demonstration of rook skills. The way I won that was getting this open file and just dominating it. Although it was a draw, I got the open file. That was fun. Thanks, Guardy Bro. Imagine black pawns like... Stupid board editor. Let me show you the board editor. Okay? Clear board. Imagine black pawns like this. and some rooks like this, okay? So the rooks can't do nothing. So now I can skewer the rooks. like this. Bam. So this bishop is skewering the rooks. Isn't that cool? When the rook moves away, I can't draw on this board. Then you get the other one. That's a skewer, even though they're the same value. If you can get into this exact position, definitely send me a private message with the game, because I want to see it. It's really hard to get your rooks like that. But anyway, we've got some challenges here. Hard in paint. He will look at your game, and then we're going to abort it because, oh, look at that. It's the old one. Don't want to play that. The next choice is, bring up my challenges again, it's Homosthul. He's going to play the rooks game. So let's do that. And I got white again, which means I'm a cheater. I don't care. Cheating's okay when you're the host. And I am the host, so I'll cheat. Pin and skewer. The difference between pin and skewer is the difference between up and down, left and right, hot and cold. They are opposites, also known as composites. If you don't know the English language, they're pretty much identical. Look at that, another draw. King up. Once I saw a move that pinned, forked, and skewered at the same time. Gonna tell my grandchildren about that later. The question here is, how much later? Jimmy, and do you have to wait for your kids to be born? Or do you just mean you're going to run down the street and tell them in a few minutes? Because I don't believe you will. Run down the street. You're too old to run. Look at that move. He's got a backward pawn. Going to crush him with rook d6. So this is an attempt to get an advantage in a drawish endgame. Clearly there's some kind of imbalance here. Once again, there's an imbalance because I have a little bit more penetration with my rook. However, if d5... then my advantage becomes I get the file. I take en passant, he takes with rook. Oh, d6, that's fine too. So I take with en passant, he takes with rook, and I bam, and then I check, and I have the open file. Completely useless, but what can you do? So now we've got an imbalance. I've got a pawn majority on the king side. He has a pawn majority on the queen side. Jimmy Yun says he's got to get married before he has grandkids. That's a very good approach. I've noticed these days people are having grandkids before they get married, and I oppose that. I really think people should get married before they have grandkids. And the reason I think that is because I'm an old school guy who just says that step one comes before step two. Now, today, people just do all kinds of crazy things. And if you're doing that, then stop it. But other than that, pretty much words and stuff. If you hit a queen with a rook and the queen moves, there is a checkmate by, let's say, taking a pawn. Let's say that. I'm reading the chat here. Then what do? Do you pin the queen to a checkmate threat, or did you skewer the queen to the... dude, you should use fewer words with your questions. I cannot read any sentences that get that long. Let's get my rook in here doing something. I am excited by this protected pass pawn right here. Look at that. It's going to be protected and passed. Okay, let's try again. If you hit a queen with a rook, hit a queen with a rook. Okay, I'm imagining that. And the queen moves. There is a checkmate by, let's say, taking a pawn. Then what did you do? Did you pin the queen to the checkmate threat? No, because a pin means they can't move, and they just moved and got checkmated. Or did you skewer a queen to a pawn? You skewered a queen to a checkmate because the queen moved and the checkmate was behind. No, you pinned the queen. You pinned the queen to a checkmate. The queen can't move, or you checkmate. So he loses his queen. That's a pin. The difference is the pin is the more valuable piece behind. So you cannot move or you'll lose the more valuable piece. But the skewer is same value or higher value in front, which means the front piece has to move. So queen and checkmate, obviously the queen is the less valuable. Nobody wants to be checkmated. What should I do with my rook? Stuff it in the corner. So between queen and checkmate, you must choose queen, which means it's a pin. So that's the answer. Now that you know the term, don't let it happen to you. I would rather you just keep your queens away from checkmates, if you ask me. I'm going to get this passed pawn into a queen here. En passant. En passant. That's not how it's pronounced. Unfortunately, you can't type it correctly. You can't type en passant. Every time you type it, it says en passant on my screen. So that's your fault. So rook d6. Yeah. Got anything cool here? I've got rook g1. He guards it. He's going to guard it. He's going to be so passive. But how do I win? It's a rook endgame. I can't win. So let's hold him back and then do that. There's no rush. It's not like he's going to make some brilliant move. Right. That's correct. That's correct. It is French for in passing. So now, push, he takes with check, I recapture, and he takes my rook for free. That'd not be a good sequence, and it's because of something called a discovery, which means, hey, look at that! That's a discovery. And it would occur if he opened this up and, hey, look at that, his rook takes my rook. A discovery is when something that was in the way is no longer in the way. Hey, it's tactics time. So it was going to be a great pin because he can't move his pawn, or I take his rook, but unfortunately with check, it goes from awesome to a discovery. So now I'll check him back, right? I mean, there's nothing better, so, ooh, I could go down here. That's better. Okay. Oh, no. Bad news. There's no increment here, which means someone's just going to run out of time. And it sure ain't me, because I'm Chess Whiz. So I guess you're going to run out of time, Tomas Stol. That's really too bad. You're definitely playing correctly to push that pawn, which is backed by the rook. But your endgame fell apart because you had no time. GG, he resigns. Yeah, so that was a whole lot of really clever, slow play followed by a bunch of fast blunders. I'm not really sure if this. Let's actually get some analysis on this and see if the computer ever said that we had a good trick before the blunders. Hey, there's no analysis button. You can't get analysis in from position games? Let me shrink up my window so I can show you this. Scroll. Look at that. Move times, cross table, or fen. Fen. I want analysis. I feel ripped off. Let's play this position again. Anyone want to challenge me? Guys, want to hear a funny story? Once upon a time, I didn't have anybody challenging me, and I didn't want to set up the board editor because it was going to take so long. So I just switched the screen to full screen view. Notice my hair was sticking up a little bit on this side. And I told a really boring story, and it went like this. So once upon a time, I was playing chess, and then nobody was challenging me, right? So I wanted to switch to board editor, but it would be too boring. So I decided to wait till someone challenged me. And while I was waiting, I decided to tell a funny story. So I switched to full screen view. Did I say funny? I meant boring. And I told this story. Once upon a time, I was playing chess, and you guys better challenge me right now, because this is not going to end. And yeah, even I got bored. Let's go back to chess. Board editor, fine. Clear board, fine. King. This is the most painful ending. Watch this. Watch, I'm going to crush you guys in this ending. Some more pawns. Why does it appear up there? I want to drag it. Some more pawns. Have you guys seen this one? Some of you guys have seen this because you play on the Internet Chess Club, the ICC. Continue from here. Play with an enemy. I'll take either color. This is such a painful chess position. You are guaranteed to lose this, which is obnoxious because you look at the thing, you're like, oh, that's such a draw, just a bunch of pawns, right? But Hard In is about to learn how hard he is in because you lose this game. I'm sorry. You're playing against the Wiz, you lose. This is a difficult end game to play well. Of course, computers play it perfectly, but you're not a computer. You're Hard In Paint, which is not a computer. Unless it's MS Paint, that could be a computer. I think you're going to lose. I think Hard In is going to lose. I have to rematch him and beat him 100 times, huh? Maybe Hard In knows what he's doing. I'll actually do that, which is a mistake, but I'm going to take advantage of Hard In here. Taking advantage of him now. Yep. I win this. I am a genius. Who says he's a genius? Which is not genius, by the way. If you think you're a genius, you better keep that to yourself, because saying you're a genius is a good way to lose friends. And actually, you can count up your score by how many friends you have. Some people think the goal in life is to get the most money, but that's wrong, because when you're dead, and you lose it. But what you should do, actually, friends die too, so never mind. I don't even know what you should be doing, but... Do I lose this? This doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense that I would lose this, but I think I'm losing. Amazing. Amazing. Hard In beats me after all my boasting, too. I lose. I resign. Stop it. I resign on your turn. I don't get it. I certainly had a way to stop this. Analysis. King of 3, H3. I fail. I guess I need to play here. Oh, that's my mistake. Wait, right here. No, it was further back. Okay, so here. All my boasting and I can't even figure out the opposite. Well, Hardin, I guess you're better than Chess Whiz. I'll play you again. Let's play this same thing again. B6 was facepalm. Yeah, I think B6 was the mistake. I think I could just play A6 and C6 and then go block those pawns over there. How's the website coming along? Says Beats by Death. Great question, Beats. Actually, the website is great. I spent some time getting the database up and running. Now the database is up and running. True story, bro. So that's going to be really useful for today's Chess Whiz Arcade episode. We're going to need the database for that. Where are you going over there? That won't work at all. This time, this endgame is going to be nose-pickingly awesome. So, after... this isn't right. You lose really fast. Didn't really think you would lose that fast. After this, we have time for just one more game before the show's over. Yeah, you want one more hard in? Because I'm sure that was really disappointing to you. Okay. Okay. Play well. Play better. You lose now. No, you win. I can't figure this out. Guys, you should play this endgame against each other, and then you can have your own headaches. Instead of just sharing in my headache. And now, push one square back, push one square back, right? Because if I push 2 check, and then it's over. Yep, 1 square. 1 square. Hey, Zug Addict fan. Don't you think you should be using your Chess Whiz fan account right now? Because... because that's not a very kind fan. Here wins. And then check. Yep, here wins. Nice! Ooh! Ooh. King and pawn is duff. Did I say duff? That's not what I meant. Tough. King and pawn. It's so much stuff. I should just do king against king. That would be more reasonable. King, king, ding, check, ding, check. Yeah, I win that way, so let's try this way. Oh, I win this way too. Cool. Yeah, it's hard, and I think it's a draw with best play, no matter whose turn it is, from the starting position. But let's just stalemate him, followed by checkmating him. Wow. Wow. Well, I guess that's the end of the show because we're out of time. I definitely enjoyed some of those endings. I learned that in the first position, I learned that the rook's not that strong. You should prefer 2 pieces against a rook and pawn if the pawn is not dangerous, like endgame with the protected pass pawn, something crazy like that. If it's just an open board and you're both playing around, the knight and bishop are more useful. That's my conclusion there. In the rook ending, definitely you want your rooks active. So get them on open files, get them penetrated down to the 7th rank, or 6th, I suppose, if he's got his weak pawn on the 6th rank for some reason, like in that game. But anyway, active rooks is really important in a game like that. And both of those rook games I was able to win by having a more active rook. And finally, with the king and 3 pawns against king and 3 pawns, if you would like a headache game to play against your friends over the board or something weird like that, you should set that up. You should actually learn how to play it perfectly and then challenge your friends and just bet them $1 million or some euros or whatever you have over there. And you should say, okay, whoever wins this gets all of these euros that I just put on the table. And then you say, and you can choose who starts, because the thing is, the thing is, with perfect play, it's a draw, right? But you are so good, they'll mess up. So you let them start, and then you beat them and win all those euros. And then you can retire happy and play chess all day, just like I do, except for the retiring part. So I hope you enjoyed the show. That was Endgame practice. Next episode's going to be Tuesday at the time that ChessWhiz TV broadcasts, which is 6 p.m. GMT. Coming up next is the ChessWhiz Arcade in about 30 minutes. So looking forward to that. I will see you guys there. This has been ChessWhiz TV. Thanks for watching.